Radhe Radhe everybody. Today we will be looking at 238 from Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, 38th verse, from Madhusudan Saraswati's commentary, Gudartha Dipika. Sukha dukhe same kritva labha labhau jaya jayau tatho yudhaya yujyasva naivam papam avapsyasi. Treating happiness and sorrow, gain and loss, and conquest and defeat with equanimity, then get ready for battle. Thus, you will not incur sin. Treating with equanimity implies absence of attachment and aversion without having any attachment for happiness, sukha, its cause, namely gain, labha, and the cause of this, namely victory, jaya. Similarly, without having any repulsion for sorrow, dukkha, its cause, namely loss, alabha, the cause of this, namely defeat, ajaya, then tataha yujyasva, get ready, yuddhaya, for battle. Evam, thus having given up the desire for happiness or for getting rid of sorrow, and fighting with the idea that it is your own duty, you will not incur papam, sin, arising from killing the elders, Brahmins, and others, and from the non performance of nitya karma. So here they say what nitya karma is. Nitya karmas are compulsory rites and duties such as Agnihotra, sacrifice, which according to Mimamsakas have no results but lead to sin if not performed. Naimita karmas, occasional rites and duties such as Shraddha, ceremony in honor of and benefit of the dead, kamya karmas, any ceremony performed with selfish motives, heart sacrifice for going to heaven, etc. So he tells us what nitya karma, naimitta karma, and kamya karmas are. So nitya karma is something that's born out of everyday life, which is your duty, and it seems like they don't exactly lead to sin, have no results, but they do lead to results such as sin if not performed. So they don't have anything like kamya karma. For kamya karma, you do something and there's a consequence for it, which is whatever you're seeking comes. But for nitya karma, there's nothing like that. But one who undertakes battle with selfish motives incurs sin as a result of killing elders, Brahmins, and others. Or one who does not undertake, he incurs sin as a result of not performing the nitya karma. So, if you did nitya karma with selfish attitude, then exactly sin is accrued, and not performing nitya karma also sin is being accumulated. Therefore, one who undertakes the battle without desiring its fruits does not incur even both kinds of sin. This idea has been explained even before, but the mention of the results in either by being killed you will attain heaven or by winning you will enjoy the earth in 37th verse was in a secondary sense. Hence there is no fault. So also Apastamba writes in his Smriti, as when a mango tree is grown, for fruits, shade and fragrance follow a natural consequence, thus when righteousness is practiced, other desirable end follows as a natural consequence. If they do not follow, that will cause no damage to the righteousness. So that's Apastamba Smriti, it's been quoted here. That since the injunction about fighting does not fall under Artha Shastra, therefore sin will certainly accrue to us in chapter 136, verse argued by Arjuna, becomes negated. So this entire verse for me, I gathered that not from this commentary alone, but other books like Sadhak Sanjeevani, is entirely focused towards that one question that Arjuna raises, that by killing all these people we may accrue sin, which we will not, is what Bhagwan is saying here. Arjuna, even if there be absence of sin, for one who fights under the idea that it is his duty, still is it not improper for you to advise me to fight as a duty? Because with regard to an enlightened person, all actions have been repudiated in. He who considers this one the killer in 19th verse of this same chapter, second chapter, and in whom, how and whom that does that person kill, or whom does he cause to be killed in 21st verse. Indeed, there can be no such understanding as I am non-agent and non-enjoyer, I am pure by nature, and by engaging in fighting I shall reap its fruit because of the contradiction between the two ideas. For there can be no combination of knowledge with action, just as of light and darkness. So it may be Arjuna is, implying another question here. From where I am, like, I'm not enlightened yet, so you're asking me to look at sukha and dukkha same and just go into the battle. Now I'm not enlightened yet. For an enlightened being, all actions negate themselves, because his understanding of I'm not the doer is firm in his experience, whereas I'm not there yet. So how does this not lead to sin for me, is implied here. And this idea of Arjuna will become explicit in the verse, if it be your opinion, in 3:1. Therefore can I not argue that it is not logical to impart instruction about knowledge and action to a single person like me. So here God seems to be pushing jnana along with karma, of equating or equanimity, which is essentially a jnana derivative, to karma, which is doing your duty, right? Lord seems to be equating those, or mixing those two and giving it to Arjuna as like a pill there. So Arjuna may have come and say, I'm not there yet, and how would you ask me to do it? Then Lord answers, no, for it is justifiable to impart instruction about knowledge and action in accordance with the states of enlightened and unenlightened. So that was what the 39th verse is about, that how karma becomes karma yoga. So how action itself becomes a knowledgeable action is just that one factor of attachment and aversion. So if that tinge, that polarities of attachment and aversion are taken away, attachment towards his relatives as relatives, and aversion towards being here and doing this exact like cruel act of war, needs to be taken away, for he is a warrior and his duty is to fight a war. So that resistance of him in fighting comes only because of his attachment towards his kingsmen and other people across the board. They're all still his relatives in his mind. That's what Bhagwan is focusing on by saying sukha dukkhe same kritva. Just make sure you're equanimous, you practice equanimity in this place, so that your action actually does not become just action. This karma is not going to be just karma. If you take that polarity out and then do your karma, karma becomes karma yoga, and which is knowledge itself, jnana itself. So it's a jnani's thing to do anything in that state of mind where everything is equal. So he is giving us a formula of performing our nitya karma, everyday actions, everyday duties, everyday responsibilities in a state of mind, or in a place where we are equanimous, so that the same nitya karmas that we do become a meditation or a jnana practice. So that's what I gain out of this. And these commentaries like Madhusudan Saraswati and Gambhirananda Shankara commentary are not easy to read, for they even the structure of how it's given is extremely difficult. At least for me it still is, because I went through Sadhak Sanjeevani, Tattva Vivechani, and just straight ahead, like just translations from Gita Press, Bhagavad Gita in regional language, and then I entered into this. It makes a little bit more sense to me. So I hope you enjoyed this study session, and I hope you're all studying the Gita, you're all reading the Bhagavatam, you're reading the scriptures, and you're all having a great week. Until I meet you in another video, Radhe Radhe everybody.